Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome to the series on Introduction to Business. This week we'll be covering Chapter 9, which is production. If I look at production, make sure you pull out your concept maps, because those of you who are taking me, you're taking me to face-to-face class or on online class or hybrid class, and it's in conjunction with Blackboard Course Management System. So I have the concept map supplied. You have the first tier, this is the second tier, and sometimes the third tier. So Chapter 9, production. We're going to talk about introduction to business, production management. What is production management? Let's go with the definition and we'll start over here. Creation of goods or services using land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, and factors of production. Real simple from economics, you know, factors of production, land, capital, individuals, knowledge. You're taking this class as usually operational management, but when you look at this one section, if I'm looking at it from a strictly customer service, non-product, but service type of an organization, a retail type of organization, instead of using everything else you're going to learn here from a manufacturing side, is also applicable to the customer service side, to a service delivery, to a retail business. So instead of an assembly line, I'm looking at process flow. How does the customer come into my website? How does the customer buy stuff? How does the customer deal with complaints? How does the customer get his product delivered? How does the customer return the product? Those are all service related aspects utilizing operations management from the manufacturer. Remember, in business, we don't reinvent the wheel, we make the wheel better. And there's some parts of my business, same thing with my marketing and my other parts of my business, that I could either sell, either outsource, or utilize in another aspect of my business. And all I got to do is modify it. Look, if I have a shovel, and the shovel is basically made for shoveling dirt, I could use the same shovel. It may not be the exact shovel. Maybe it's a flat shovel. It could be used for snow, for smaller portions instead of a regular snow shovel. It's still a shovel, but it's utilized for what I needed here, to maybe for dirt. But I could, if I had to in a pinch, utilize to dig myself out of a snow bank. Been there, done that. Or into a muddy situation, I could throw stuff in. Okay, so that's production. So everything that you're learning here is geared to operation management and production side, manufacturing, but it's also, I'm going to put the twist to it, it's also used for the service. So production management is all activities that help the firm create a good or service. Production process, inputs, output, right? You got inputs, land, labor. Here I have customers coming in, or vendors. Production control is planning, routing, scheduling, dispatching, follow-up. No different than the service. When is the customer going to get the good? When is the customer going to come in for me to give him a back massage, or do a chiropractor, line up his back, or do his teeth? This all, what do you call it, scheduling. So that all ties in. And my outputs, basically goods and services and idea. 3 requirements of production: build products demanded by customers or service demanded by customer, deliver them on time, provide acceptable quality level. The only difference between, when I'm manufacturing good, I could tell the quality. If it doesn't look good, look, you buy a cake. If it's lopsided, hey, there's something wrong with this cake, I won't buy it. Or if it tastes right away, I can taste it. A service, you're only as good as the last time I delivered the service. Because today, I may give you a good haircut all the time, good haircut. But today I had a bad day. I was on some kind of medication, and I messed up. And you go, whoa! All that time, now I remember this was a poor service, but you don't realize it was a poor service because you had nothing to do until after I performed the service. All right, so you have to look at this. And now again with the service, do I get the low end hairstylist right out of college? Sure, that's where you get for the super cuts. Of some of them, most of them are right out of school. You have some that are veteran or military to drive around. Most are right out of college, and that's why you're paying the low cost. They've got the skills, but they're not the best yet. But after a while, when if I go to a regular beauty salon or a high end, I have people that are not out of college. They already have an expertise. They have years of experience, but I'm paying the higher price. They already know how to cut my hair. They have more experience. Okay? So we good on that one? Okay, so doing pretty good. Okay, now the production process. If I look at the production process, it's taking form. So, I'm taking raw material and creating it something. I could do the same thing. I could chop down a tree, trim it down, and I could make planks out of it. Time consuming. A lot easier to just buy the planks at Menards or Home Depot or Lowe's. Or If I wanted to, I could, firewood. I could do it myself. I got old firewood, cut but the splitting, is it cheaper? How much of a cord it cost me? I have to look at do I have the equipment? And my time it's going to take, and which is more effective efficiency. So I got process manufacturing, assembly line, continuous process is basically long production lines, intermittent process. Small production runs are shorter, adjust this machine frequently to make the things different. Remember, when I said about manufacturing, the U.S. is coming back as a manufacturing giant. Not yet. It's still a little bitty giant, but it's coming back. But the people that are hired now have to have college, have to understand technology, and have to have the math, because they're doing a lot of programming and unprogrammed. They're looking at the variances. They're looking at the statistical analysis. How do I adjust my process? Okay, so you still have it now. Making U.S. more competitive. You have, if I look at the CAD, the computer aid system, it makes it look. If I look at the blueprints from manufacturing, blueprints cost me an arm and a leg just to print them out. Do I need all the blueprints? A lot of times I only need one section. What is there? Is there any kind of areas like that my plumbing and electrical are going to have some kind of confrontation or some issues I have to adjust? I can't do that with a blueprint. Got to go visually look at it, look at the other one. By doing by AutoCAD, I could just peel off the things. I send them an electronic file to someone else. I could send it to another person to evaluate, put all the specs on there. I could do a lot of things to be a lot cost effective. When I come in there, I just peel off all the layers, and I just got to look at the plumbing. And I got to look at the electrical and see where there's any kind of clashes, okay? And then the CAM is computer-aided manufacturing. This is where you have to have some computer skills. If you don't even know how to program a phone or don't know how to send an email, you're going to definitely have problems with it in here. These are individuals that understand computer. I'm not looking at programming. You understand how to, like if I look at the right, I got to write a paper or Excel. I got to do an Excel spreadsheet. Do I have to know the math or how to lay it out? No, I got a program. It tells me here, I just put the variables in, I plug and play, and it creates the spreadsheet, it creates the Word document for me. Okay, flexible manufacturing, lean, mass customization. If I look at mass customization, tailored products, computer. I mentioned that in earlier areas that we talked about. If I look at a computer, all I have to do is, if I want to buy the base model that they're selling to get, the hook to get me in, but I want a larger screen or I want more memory, I just click it on it, because when it goes on the assembly line from the retail, goes on assembly. Oh, George wants the better, what do you call it, the better hard drive. Oh, George wants a smaller screen, whatever. I could adjust it right there, because the technology will just either put one in or put the other one. They have everything in there. If you look at your car is all wired for a lot of stuff. Put all these extra wire because you didn't order the added feature. But does it make sense to put another wire in just because you wanted a stereo and the other one wanted an AM FM mono? No, you got all the wiring in there, and it depends what you order. So the main part is already in there. Okay, so that's how they do the mass customization. Operations manager converts and transforms resources into goods and services. Includes inventory management, quality control, production scheduling, and follow-up service. And you still need all of these in retailing. You also need these for what do you call it, if you're providing a service. Okay, operational management planning helps problem solving. You have to look at your location, right? Don't you open up a business or you open up a new product line or a new service? Where are you going to put it? What's the facility? How's it going to be laid out? Even if I'm doing a web thing, I have to understand most web sites are designed. There are people that are watching. If you go on the web, why do you go here first and not here first? And you design the site so it makes it easy. When I look at going to Walmart, I understand when I go into Walmart, they only have a few stuff here, the stuff that's not costly, because most people come into Walmart or any kind of Target or some of the other stores to look around and they use this as a staging area and they go forward and then they start feeling more comfortable here. So at the staging area, maybe a few things to give them some instructions, but then along the line, most people are going down this way, so they're already geared in. If you come in from this way where it's the groceries, they know most people groceries are going to buy all these other things. You come in the other side where it has electronics or something else, you're going to come in here and they have all the triggers, and in the center is your pharmacy and what do you call it, the computers, the high end. And the reason for it being the center not only protects us from theft because it's there, but everyone has to come in there sometime, and so they'll come in either door. They'll come into the center and maybe come out the other door. So I get them each time. And quality control on the manufacturing thing, line could be done by a separate department, but a lot of time quality control is part of the process. When you call up somebody else to complain to customer service, and that's more in the service they're providing, they say this telephone could be monitored for quality control. It does several things. It also could monitor the workforce. You know, they could be monitored at any time. I have to monitor them all the time. You know that the call is being recorded, so you figure you're going to get quality service. Down the road, they could see what kind of questions you have because you got the recording. They say, here's the questions. How did the person direct them properly? Then from the questions in here, how should they, decision tree, where should they transfer the call? And that's part of the process, okay? So you should at least understand what they're a web. There are people in there that design the web, so it makes it intuitive for the person. And it's intuitive. I'm a baby boomer, so I may look at more of the more written area, where you're maybe Generation Y, so you're a little more floating all over. You're not looking at the normal. You're clicking buttons all over. Oh, well, it comes here because you look at a lot of the website. No matter what I press, is going to give me something to let me know here. And every movement, just like every movement that I walk in, are being recorded for security measures at Walmart, Target, or Kmart, whatever the store you're going to walk in. It not only allows you that you're being watched, but it sees how my customers migrate into my store and where they go. Okay, so I have that. And then the next one is control procedure. If I look at control, all control is the same quality. And if I look at this, control is measurements, but it allows only 3.3 defects per million opportunity. So if I look at control, control just lets me know where the process is, how do I modify it, a budget. Am I out of budget? That's a control thing. Say, hey, George, you spend more than your budget was allowed. Okay, next month you spend more. Now I have to either bring in more or reduce my expenses, and it's a control mechanism. And these are different ones: critical path, program evaluation review, estimated completion time. So if I'm running late behind, it means all my other ones going to be a domino effect. So I either delay the ones going forward or work overtime. So so when the other ones, the projects are supposed to come in, like the roof, that makes sure that at least I have the foundation and the walls up on time. So maybe if this cost is more costly to get the roofer than the carpenters, I'll pay the overtime, because overrun is going to my whole project is going to fall behind schedule. That is part of the control process. And then materials requirement, make sure I have a safety stock. But if for some reason my orders go up, I have to make sure I have some control mechanism to bring more orders in. Or if there is a delay, I can notify the customer, hey, we're going to be delayed by 2 weeks because of a materials shortage. Do you still want to go with this the product you still want to purchase with me? It's just good business. And then this one here is enterprise resource. A newer version of MRP combines computerized functions into single integrated softwares. And a lot of these systems that we talk about here, your vendors and your suppliers are already tied in. These are your the vendors and everything else that are pre-approved by you are tied in. And then Gantt charts, is basically a barcode tells you where the project's, a visual, where the project's going. Are we on target or off target? If we're off target, how do I bring it up? If we're on target, can we finish sooner? And then a lot of your construction projects have a penalty if they run late, but they also have a reward if they finish earlier. Because the bottom line is you make your constituents or the drivers happier. Okay, and now how to effective manufacture. You look at ISO 9000, ISO, and that's a international standard organization. The 9000 and 9002. If I'm working overseas, I have to be ISO approved. It's almost like a UL label. Okay, so any kind of business I'm doing, my products have to be ISO 9000 approved. ISO 1004 is environmental. If I claim that I'm environmentally friendly just because I put the ad on, I have to be certified by ISO 14,000. Okay, and then focus on costs. There's another one is select site selection, downsizing, outsourcing, empowerment. How do I eliminate the middleman or the middle person, which would be the manager? If I have more individuals that are empowered, they can make the quality decisions. They could do the savings. They know what's going on. So I could quicken the process, but still keep the quality in there. Rely on internet and new production technology as robots and computers. Eventually, if you look at most cars and everything manufactured, all done robotic, but you still have to have the eye. Someone still has to say, hey, there's a color right. The robot says, according to my spectrum, this is right, but you look at it, man, that looks like a blemish here. They may not pick it up, but our eye is a lot more sensitive than anything else that the robots could do. Okay, so this is chapter 9 on, production management, introduction to business, in a series of courses or chapters you've taken me learning about the basics of organizations, small, large, profit, or non-profit. My name is Dr. George Mochocki, and we'll see you in the next chapter 10, short mini version. Okay, bye.